Okay, so I kept asking, like, when will I be able to see my babies? The babies are like 3 or 4 days old at this point. I was still kind of out of it. I don't know exactly how old they were, but they were like, pretty much when you leave here, when you get out of ICU, you'll be able to see your babies when you get on the floor. Now, there was a doctor, like, just, like, on call in the ICU, and he pretty much came in, he'll check on me or whatever, and, my condition and how I was doing. And when I tell you, like, I probably had every test known to man while I was in the ICU. I had from ultrasounds to EKGs to, I had almost anything you possibly can imagine. I had while I was there. I guess, with like the EKGs and stuff like that was probably because my heart rate was so low. And I pretty much died twice while I was in the post-op room. That's probably why they had me on the constant monitoring or whatever. Like, literally, if I moved the wrong way and one of the monitors, weren't picking up, like, literally there were 2 or 3 people, like, literally running in my room within seconds. And he came in and he started saying, I noticed he started putting this mask over his face and he's getting all dressed up. So I'm like, wait, what's going on? I like, okay, like I told you guys, I've been to nursing school. I'm like, what's going on? And he started talking about MRSA, and I'm like, who has MRSA? And then he's like, oh, it's a pretty common thing. Like, he's pretty much trying to butter it up. I'm like, no, MRSA is something very serious, okay? And then I'm like, how the hell do I get MRSA? I didn't come in here with MRSA. How did I get MRSA? So now it's contact precaution. So every time someone comes in my room, they have to put the gown on, they have to put the mask over their face, and things like that. So it kind of makes you feel like you're a disease, pretty much. No biggie there. And on my last day in the ICU, they started telling me, like, we're taking you off the magnesium, but now you have to get up and you have to, use the commode. You can't just lay in the bed, pretty much, type of thing. So I still had the compression stockings on, the SCDs. Those are the things that go on your leg, and they pretty much, pulsate or vibrate, or not vibrate, but they pulsate and, like, massage your legs and your calf to keep the blood moving so you don't get the clots. I still had those on, but I had the commode. And when I tell you, just to move was the worst pain in my life. Just to move. Now, I couldn't imagine. It was so bad. And literally, the commode was right here next to my bed. I looked at the commode and I told my mom, because she would come see me every day on her lunch break or whatever and stuff. And I told hubby, I said, there's no way I'm going to get on that commode. I'm just going to I'm just going to go in the bed and they're going to clean it up. Because I cannot move. I can move, but it's painful. Like, I'm literally crying just to move. Just to do this. To sit up. To do this hurts. To do that hurts. To lift my leg, I had to literally lift it with my hands first. So I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to go to the bathroom. But slowly but surely, and, hubby talked me through it. He was kind of like, just, don't think about, where other people are when they have their C-sections. You see people had C-sections yesterday and now they're walking. They may be walking slow, but don't compare yourself to them. Just take it one day at a time. Think about, you have to get out of here because you have to get to the baby. Just, think about those things. Think about your kids. Think about your sons that you've been wanting forever. And that pretty much, pushed me through. And I tried, I really tried to get to the commode, which I did, but it was painful. Like, it literally took 20 minutes to get there. Like, I couldn't wait to the last minute to use the restroom because I would pee on myself. I had to go, like, as soon as I felt the urge to go. And by me being on so many fluids and so much medication, like, it was coming out frequently, so I had to get up. Like, to go to the restroom was like, like a chore, because it was just too often for me. So we got through that. I was moving, and I was able to, go on the commode and have your bowel movement or whatever. So they took me from, when I left ICU, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm going to want to see my babies. and they took me from the ICU and they moved me to med-surg. So I'm like, okay, why are they moving me to med-surg? Why am I not in mommy and baby? And they're like, oh, because you have MRSA, so we can't take you to mommy and baby. So, but you're gonna be able to see your boys when you get to med-surg. Get to med-surg, pretty much the nurses have no freaking clue, for one, how to deal with the PICC line that I had, which I was surprised, because if you're in med-surg, you should know. You deal with these people that go through surgery all the time that you, I don't know. But they didn't know what it was, okay? So, and let alone, they didn't know what the little, I forgot the name of it, the ball was that where the fluid, where the blood would drain into. They had no idea how to care for that stuff. So, and I kept asking, you know, like, where my babies are, they going to come? And they're like, oh, you know, we just going to give a report and then we're going to be right back. You know, okay, whatever. Report was given like 2 hours ago and I still hadn't seen my nurse. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I want to see my kids. I just left this other floor. I'm hungry. I haven't gotten a plate. I didn't get a plate in ICU. I didn't get a plate here. I'm hungry. What's going on? So it pretty much got to the point where I said, get me the charge nurse in this room because I want to know why my babies aren't here. They told me I would be able to see my babies when I got here, and now I can't. And long story short, they said pretty much babies cannot come off, you know, mommy and baby floor whatsoever. They have a monitor on. If they come off that floor, the alarm is going to go off. Okay, I know that. But why aren't my babies here with me? Oh, because you have MRSA. Okay, well, we have to do something because I have to see my babies. So they pretty much called labor and delivery, and they called what is it called? Postpartum. It's called postpartum, and they were able to give me a room right next to the nursery or whatever, and it was, you know, like it was contact room. Everyone had to come in, had to wear a mask and the gown, which I had to pretty much wear, you know, the mask myself just to hold my own babies. It was crazy. But I was actually able to see my babies, and when I did see them, I remember the nurse, she came in, she was, there were two nurses who came in, and one was holding the baby, and she's like, this is one of your babies. And I said, this is mine? This is mine? This is my boy? She goes, yeah, this is your boy. Now, at this point, they're like probably four days old or whatever. And it was like, I don't know, it was the sweetest moment, but it was like after so long and having gone through so much, I was just so happy to see them. And I told myself I would not get emotional when I make this video, but just to know that I went through so much to have them. Like I said, I would never, ever, ever have any more kids. And yes, I did actually go through with the tubal ligation. I did go through with it, but it was just a very sweet moment to know that I was just to be alive at that moment, just to be alive and be able to see my babies. And I'll make another video, you know, introducing them and the pictures that I have and all that stuff. But I just wanted to just tell you guys the story, because I sort of underestimated how hard it would actually be to find time to record. So it'll be a separate video with, you know, pictures and all that good stuff. So this is just the story, and I'm just so glad that it's over. It's really, really over. So I delivered at 35 weeks 4 days on November 9th. 2 boys, Ivan and Ivory, 5 pounds 13 ounces. Yes, it's finally over, but I don't know. And I remember being when I was getting ready to get discharged, the surgeon who was there with my doctor, he came in and he said, you know, I heard you were being discharged and I had to come see you. He said, I just want you to know, don't be discouraged and, you know, things like that, but your situation was like a wake-up call for everyone. He said, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but, you know, this hospital is, you know, it's really kind of relaxed. You know, it's not in the city. We don't see too many, you know, high-risk situations, but it was a wake-up call to everyone. He said, what happened to you, it's that 1 in a million that, you know, doctors or specialists or whoever tell you could possibly happen, you know, with anything. He said you were the 1 in a million that happened. He said we've never seen an adverse effect that happened that's so dramatic like yours. He said I've been doing surgery for 38 years. This has never happened, you know, but I'm glad to see you're leaving and that you're alive and you can be with your babies. And it just meant so much to me. And then for the nurses to, like, one nurse, she actually, you know, like, she prayed with me and she was like, you know, you have great purpose and you know, things like that. And it, to me, like I said, to me, it just opened up a whole whirlwind of, you know, just being grateful. And this was, you know, November 9th, right before Thanksgiving, just to be thankful for just life, the simple things, just be thankful for life. And I really was, and still to this day, I'm still trying to find a way to get to let the one nurse in the ICU, Juana, just to let her know that she just made a big difference in my recovery, in my life, and how I see things. And I would never forget her. I would never forget her, because even though, you know, there were times when I was lethargic, and some of the nurses, you know, for them it's a job. Oh, we know she's so doped up, she's on so much meds, she doesn't know what's going on. They tend to forget you, and I was at that point where I was on so much medication. Like I can talk to you right now, and then I'll be asleep, and then I'll wake back up in 5 minutes later. And they sort of take that thing for granted, you know. And some nurses, you know, they leave you pretty much for dead. Like they don't come in there their entire shift. But this one nurse, Juana, she was great. She was great. And I don't know, but just like I told you guys before, preeclampsia is nothing to play with. It's nothing to take lightly. You know, if your blood pressure is high, just don't even bother. Don't even risk it. Just go to the hospital. I'm glad it's done. And I have this, like, my hospital, the chain of hospitals that I go to, they normally give you like this lovely bracelet here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says, like, you know, like preeclampsia on it. So if something was to happen to me, like it did with my last pregnancy, where I would go to the hospital, let's just say, you know, I was out of it and I couldn't talk, with this bracelet, they'll be able to pull up my history and know exactly, you know, what to look for. They know, like, okay, she has a history of preeclampsia, where, you know, where to start. So without me having to explain anything. And I pretty much have to wear this for like 12 weeks. With my last pregnancy, you know, they gave it to me. I didn't listen. As soon as I was discharged, I cut it off, you know, with the hospital band. The same time I cut off the hospital band, I took this off. As you can see, it's been a whole month later, and I still have it on. To me, it's not even a game. It's not even worth the risk. So, and I wear this pretty much everywhere. So, I'm glad you guys were able to go through this with me. Sorry that I got emotional. Sorry that I'm long-winded and it took so long for me to post this video. But, I'm just honestly glad it's over. I'm glad it's over. And what should have been like one of the happiest days of, you know, my life, when I finally get my boys, unfortunately for me, it was like one of the worst days of my life. Like, to just sit here and have to talk and say that I literally died twice, and to have people have to tell me like you were literally gone, like you were like completely flat, like just gone for a minute, and to come back and have like no brain damage, like nothing is absolutely wrong with me. It's a blessing. So guys, I'll make another video, like I said, with showing you guys the boys and whatever pictures that I have from the hospital. So I hope you enjoyed this journey with me, and I look forward to keeping the channel going, simply, you know, with the growth of the boys. So thank you. Talk to you guys later. Bye.